Hey guys, we are live in chilly Los Angeles this morning, so it's been a little different here. So we're getting ready to go skiing pretty soon, so that's exciting. Gonna head to the east as well for some Christmas time fun. But listen, the big news today is not that. The big news is, of course, we've got huge geopolitical shock going on again in the world. It's affecting the Asian markets quite a bit. So if you trade in the Asian markets, you know that you are swinging pretty wildly there. The unrest in South Korea is definitely going to be problematic throughout the day for those markets. That hasn't been that big of a factor in U.S. markets historically. I think we are seeing some reaction in the Dow, seeing some reaction in the S&P 500. South Korea under martial law until just a few minutes ago, I believe their politicians have gone and revoked the martial law. We're going to see if the president there honors that. We're going to see what the heck happens. But in the meantime, we've got pretty big insurrection there. We're going to see how that affects world markets. I'm not saying it's not going to affect us. It's probably going to affect us if it gets worse. It's definitely a very strategic ally for the United States. But at this time, it's probably going to be pretty mellow for the session here if things keep going the way that they're going. We've had an interesting morning so far. I'm going to go and take a look at the triple Qs. I've had these up on the screen for the guys pretty much all morning in the war room. There have been some really good trades there, nice moves. I think there's going to be some additional nice moves, and then we've also got some good stuff going on in the Mag 7. So let's take a look at all of that right now. Here you go. This is what's happening in the Qs. So you can see Qs took a dip on the open. Nothing too major. We had a nice move on Apple as a result. First thing, I'll talk about that in a second. But, over the course, we had this move higher that resulted in this infield fly move. Infield fly move was a good one. We weren't trading right then. So we got back into it at about 11:30 Eastern was where we started looking at the triple Qs, really. And you can see that the big move that we've been able to capitalize on is this one right here. As a matter of fact, we're in once again on the NQ. So that rebound down into 514.95, that gave us the opportunity for an entry, and that entry was up to 515.36. So that doesn't look like all that much on the triple Qs, but when you go to the NQs, you're talking about a 20-point move per contract, and that is plenty of dough to be had once, twice, and now we're in a third one. Hopefully that'll hit the target. Right now it's at pretty much a break-even stop if it pulls back down again. So that's the strategy going forward. I'm hoping that we see these volatility bands on these guys get closer to something like that so that we get back into the in a sort of a tighter range there, and that those lows that we've been seeing all morning, these guys, down in here, that those lows of this recent channel there start lining up a little bit better with the bands, and if they do, I think we're gonna see a really good opportunity to trade those going into the afternoon. Here are the Magnificent Seven. You can see what's going on here in 1 second. There we go. We've had lots of activity over the course of the morning. So first thing in the morning today, we called it live in the pre-market. We had a move in Apple, got us down into yesterday's support and resistance. That move, of course, sets us up for a market maker arbitrage trade. And you can see that it shot higher and, over the course of the morning just really, really took off. So we had a great opening trade there in Apple from 239.18. up into 239.80, and then it had a continuation move on this little dip here that moved it higher up into 240.44. So for the rest of the session, I'm watching this one to see, does it stay in the box? Does it stay tight up in here? If it does, if it gets back down to 240.81, I'm definitely looking at the long side of the market. And right now, if I wasn't talking to you, I would be looking at that 241.20 as a potential entry. Amazon, not really setting up yet. There's just too much variability in here. It's going to set up over the course of the day, I think. I think we're going to see that thing tighten up as soon as, we maybe see the, this guy down here, the volume weighted average price get a little closer to that 212.22 area. Problem is that only gives us range up to 212.63. So if you're going to do it on bigger shares, it's going to make sense. If you're trading 100 or 200 shares or something, it's not going to change your lifestyle. We've got Meta. Meta is in the box, and I'm looking sort of at the bottom of this range here, a little bit lower than where I've got the line drawn on the chart. You can see where that orange line is back a little bit on here. This is the anchored VWAP. Lines up nicely with the bottom of this histogram. If we see this start to support again here, or maybe move down below these lows and then retrace higher, I'll look for an entry right there around, what is that, about 603.25 up into 604.54. Probably need another line there before too long. We can draw that right now, get that up there for you guys in the room. So if it dips that line and then comes back up through, I'm going to look at that one as well. Microsoft sort of off the table right now, not seeing a whole lot there that's too interesting. If it gets back up into the higher part of the range, up into this 431.72 level, again, not looking like it's going to do it right now, then I'll look for a repeat performance back down. So short side of the market back down into the VWAP. NVIDIA, this is definitely in the box, trading right below that central pivot line, 138.91. Again, this is a tight move down to 138.61, so I'm not really watching it yet. If that widens up, if we get down into that 138.34 level, then we've got something we can play with a little bit and see if we can't get an opportunity. Tesla's been good. Tesla's been great so far. Just had a post on Facebook, I think. Somebody posted in there about what we were doing this morning with it, and you can see that this level right here on the short side of the market. So we're definitely looking at a short on Tesla. It moved significantly lower this morning, tried to bounce back, just all downside ever since then. But from that pivot line, from right around 352.15 or so, if we hit the green line, that's S1. If it hits there, get a nice little inflection. I'm going to take it on the short side down to 350.49. If we get lucky, down into 348.36. So that's really pretty much everything that I'm looking at. I guess on the Coinbase stuff here, we can look at this too real quick. This is trading sideways in this congestion range, consolidation range. 57.97 gives us a 57.36 target. So I'm going to watch for it to go up, hit that blue line up above there, about $58.10, track back down through 57.97. And if it does that, then I'm going to look for a move down into 57.36. All right, so that's the game plan so far. And I think that we are good to go. So we're safe to say that's going to be where we are for the rest of the day. And keep looking in the wrong direction here, but that's okay. That's where we are for the rest of the session, and just stay up on what's going on in the news. Keep like the fly on the wall or something open. It's not necessarily going to help you very much to be watching the television news, because that's, as you know, sort of yesterday's news, generally speaking. But all right, so I think we're good, and I think we got some good setups for the afternoon, and I will check back in with you in the room in a few minutes. Have a great one.